All right. Let's get started here. But is it done yet? No. It's in the title. It's not done yet. Not finished. Let's see. So, the things that we need to do. Will it be done tonight? Also no. But hopefully it will be closer. Tomorrow? Yeah, probably also no. Oh yeah, I want to figure out what the heck this tree thing is. And if it will work for what I'm doing. So that's the thing. Need a way to change your brush, probably. Let's see what else. Way to like manage sprites, make new sprites, something like that. Let's start simple. What the heck is this tree thing? And is it useful to me? So, we need to add a script to that. And then let's see. Let's go to the documentation here. Create item. It's gonna be a tree item. Okay. So we would do something like this. Hello, Ganymede. Welcome to the chat. So this is a pixel art editor that I'm making. And yeah. Ooh, this does seem nice. Interesting. Yeah, I'm not sure how exactly this is gonna help right now. Let's leave this alone. I would have to restructure stuff to use it, but until then, let's look at some of the other stuff we can do. So we need one thing we need is to separate these tools out into their own trays. And then, oh yeah, I was saying some way to deal with brushes, but that's a fairly big thing. Unless we just do a couple presets to start. And then a way to like manage multiple sprites. I think we should start on that one. Let's go here, and then let's start by adding something to file. We'll add, here we go, new sprite. Okay, all good. And then we go here. And we're going to add a new option. And what this should do is it should create a new sprite scene and add that to the container. So we will reload that scene. So it's going to be scene, sprite scene. I'm going to add it as a child. Actually, let's do this. There we go. And then we should also switch that to be the current sprite when we make a new one. So to do that, I think we set the current tab. let's go ahead and try setting it to -1, which should be the last tab. So now we do new sprite. It does add a new sprite, but it does not set the tab correctly. Ah, a value of -1 means that no tab is selected. That's why. So we're gonna have to do it the old-fashioned way. Alright, there we go. So we can do stuff here. We say new sprite, and it goes over here. Let's go ahead and make these have readable names. So to do that, we're going to just set that name. And we will probably have to adjust this later to make it automatically add new numbers or whatever. Okay. What if we do this, make that true. There we go. Oh yeah, nice. I've been working on it on and off for like 3 years now. So, yeah, big project. Actually, we said that. There we go. Let's see. Currently there's no way to close and like Get rid of a sprite. So we could add something for that. I believe there's a way in tab container to do something with that. Add a little X. Let's see. It's not deselect. Or that, or that. Shouldn't be that. I'm not sure. But I could have sworn this was a thing. Maybe instead you can add something like a button to the tab. I'm not sure. That's interesting. I didn't know that was a thing. I think it's like this. Like that would be the pop-up that you set there. That's not what we're looking for, though. Set tab icon, set tab button icon. Maybe that. We could try that and see if it does anything. We just need a placeholder texture. So that sort of does something, but I don't think it's what I want. Let's consult ye olde Google. Perfect. That's exactly what I want. So this person just re-implemented a tab container, basically. Set tab close display policy. Still have to see how to display a custom tab with the plus symbol and not show the close button. Okay. Let's look at that. Okay. Let's try getting the tab bar. And then setting its tab close display policy. Do that there. Okay. So that does show up now. Okay. Let's see. What do we have here? I think we have to connect directly to the tab bar's signals. Here we go, tab close pressed, what we're looking for. Then it will tell you with an int what the tab is. So we go here, and we're going to connect to that. All right. And then that's here. Now when the close button is pressed, we want to remove that tab, which should be as simple as remove child, get child, and then the tab index. That works. Perhaps a little too well, but that works. We also are going to want to have a "are you sure you want to close" dialogue. So for that, let's see. I'm going to get the child with the index that we're looking for. Okay. And then that's a sprite scene. Okay. So we get the child, and then we are going to call a function on that. We'll call it confirm close. And then we're gonna have to make a new scene and do a little bit of stuff for that. But right now we just call that. Oop. There. We need to make this new scene. Let's do that now. So that's going to be another node, which is a pop-up panel. We're going to call that confirm close there we go. We'll add a script to it. We need to manually add the stuff that we want here. Let's just copy this over. And instead of these spin boxes, we're going to have a label. That's going to say, are you sure you want to close? All right. Not sure what that's about. Hello. Welcome to the stream, Soren Sprout. Just chilling, doing a little coding on my pixel art editor here. Let's see. Don't care about that. Yep, it's coming along. Right now, we are making it so that you can close a sprite if you've opened one. And there's a dialog box that will ask if it's okay to close it if you have unsafe changes. We need to connect these signals. It's going to be here. Then we're going to make a signal. We'll just call it results. When we press the cancel button, let's actually be a little bit more descriptive. Result is okay. And if the cancel button is pressed, we emit that signal. With false. If we press the OK button, we emit it with true. All right. Then here we're going to await that signal. First we have to actually load the right scene, which we are not doing. That's going to be confirm close. We don't need to do that anymore. That is for the other pop-up we had. I'm new to coding and have only used Godot for games, so this is interesting to see a different kind of application. Yeah, it's a little different, but like a lot of it is just like how you would make a UI for a game. But it's like just that. As opposed to, you know, being mostly, you know, Node 2Ds and stuff, it's mostly controls. So let's see here, we need to get that result, I think, if we can. And then return it. Aha! But it doesn't do anything. Okay. We just see if it will print. Okay. What? It actually closed the window. Not inside tree. What? I don't think that's related. So we click close, we click OK, we get the same thing. But I don't know how that makes any sense. I don't know where that's actually coming from in my code. Even though clearly it is somewhere. But it did close it, I guess. You click OK and it actually closes it. It just also makes an error. Oh, it's like trying to accept input from something that's no longer existent. That's what it is. I don't know exactly why it's doing that, but that's what it's doing. Very strange. Let's see. How can we do this in a slightly better way? How did I get rid of that before? I think I just removed the child and I did not free it like I should. So let's go ahead and also free it. So that still happens. What if we, instead of queuing, we just free it? More errors, actually. Is freed or unreferenced while a signal is being emitted from it. Try connecting to the signal using connect deferred or use queue free to free the object. But I tried queue free and that didn't help. I mean, it did in that it didn't have that error, but it had a different error. So maybe that's there for another reason. Oh, I think it's because the pop-up is part of the sprite, as opposed to being kind of on top of it. So there's like two different ways to fix that. First, let's just look at what exactly we do. Thanks for the follow, Ganymede. Much appreciated. Yeah, let's look at what we're doing here. Because I'm pretty sure that it's this signal, and while we're handling the signal, we actually close everything. So that's kind of the issue there. Let's see. How would we do that in a way that makes sense? Let's look at how we did it before. Which I think is by connecting to the signal, which, yeah, I mean, makes sense. Like if we go here, yeah, we just connect that. So let's go ahead and do that. Oh, also, interesting. I don't think there's technically anything wrong with that, but I did it a little weird. So let's just connect this to the function we made. This is maybe an issue. I can't return anything from here because I'm just connecting to a signal. But if we think about that, you know, what's going to happen when you do that? I really liked the workflow that the other way that I was doing it allowed for. I'm just not sure that it actually works how I want it to. Let's just print this and see what comes up. So that it works. The problem is just that like stuff is still happening. Okay. We can just set the input as handled. Maybe that'll work. Okay, well that does it. We just say, okay, yeah, we handled all the input, we're good, you're done. And that seems to solve the issue. We still have the issue of not being able to cancel. So let's deal with that. So we're able to get false out of this. Which is good. Now we just need to go back to where we call confirm close, which is here in the sprite tab container. So let's save that. Print it. And then do that. Oh. Duh. It only gets removed when you remove the sprite because the whole sprite is removed. So we need to close the pop-up. And I believe that should be the job of the pop-up itself. Well, at least to... Nah, never mind. We're gonna do it here. Alright, see ya, Cosmic. Thanks for showing up, modding, all that. It's always good to have you here. Alright, next we need to make it show up nicely, like in the center of the screen. So let's compare that to our resize pop-up and see what we've done differently here. We've got the initial position as well as the size have been set. So let's go ahead and do that. We're going to put it in the center, let's see, I think it's center of main window screen, I think is what we want. Yeah. And then default size is probably fine, to be honest. So we close. Yeah, are you sure you want to close? That's fine for now. Alright, so that's good. That's interesting. I didn't really mean to do that. Let's fix that real quick. Shouldn't be too difficult. Alright, so that's going to be one of these split containers in the left panel. Gotta get that one off the playlist. This one? That's like the whole thing. I don't understand. What? Where is the... So you've got the pallet tray, which is part of the pallet, which is here. So we've got the V-split container. Okay. So it's this one. Because, yeah, okay. It's got that and that. So this is the container. Let's just remove the script altogether, I think. Because it doesn't work with the way that we have things, so... yeah. Okay. Okay, so that's pretty good. So I think also, when you make a new sprite, that should have a dialogue as well. So if we go to here... we're going to go ahead and make that So let's call this something like new sprite dialog. Then we will make a new scene for it. Actually, let's go ahead and do what we've been doing, which is open that scene, copy it, paste. Set that name. And then there we go. Void function cannot return a value. On line 50. What? Oh, this is a sprite tab container. Okay. Oh, right. Okay. So for this, we're going to, I think, just returnable results object, and that is going to have everything we need. The way that we want to do that, though, is going to be similar to how we do the resize pop-up. So we're going to have these spin boxes. Let's go ahead and set the default value here to something reasonable, like 64. Let's go ahead and see how a sprite does it. So we make a new sprite. They have color mode, which we don't have anything like that yet. They have the background color. I don't think I would worry too much about that right now. And then they have pixel aspect ratio, which also not something I'm going to worry about at the moment. So Essentially, we do only need to worry about the width and the height. I would like to change how this is done a bit, rather than doing it with a prefix. Let's see. What would that be? I'm not sure there's actually a way to do what I'm trying to do. I would have to make my own thing for it. Unless they have something on Spinbox that I'm not aware of. Which, no, they do not. Okay. So, to do what I'm saying, I would have to add an H box. Put that here. And then add a label to that. Yeah, so let's just duplicate that for the height as well. Okay. And then let's look at what we do here. And do something similar over here. All right. And then, so this is fine. We just need to get the new path. Okay. And then here we're going to emit our result object, and that is going to have is okay. True. It's also going to have the width and the height. But let's actually do that as size, so that'll be like this. And then pretty much the same thing with the cancel button, but it'll be false. And then that's that. So I think that is pretty much what we want. So we'll go here and we'll add that dialogue. So we've got that, we instantiate it, we add the child. We pop it up. We await the results. And then we check the results. And we do all that with the new sprite. Let's go ahead and comment this. Here we create the New sprite dialog. And then if it's okay, we make the new sprite. Let's also set the size of this. So for that, I'm going to look here, and we're going to look at what we do for resize. So we set sprite.size to the new size. So that's going to be pretty much the same thing here. We just say new sprite dot sprite dot size. We set that to results size. So new sprite, good. We make it, there it is. There are issues, to be sure. But nothing too crazy. So we need to change these, basically. Okay. I think that's about all I've got in me for today. It's been good. So I'll see you guys next time. We're gonna do a raid. We'll be raiding Scootish, I guess, who is doing some sort of Roblox thing with Barry. I don't know. Some of you might find it interesting. So that's what I'm doing. Yeah, see you there.